The Bavarian State Library in Munich is the central Landesbibliothek, i.e., the State Library of the Free State of Bavaria and one of Europe's most important universal libraries, with its collections currently comprising around 9.81 million books. It ranks among the best research libraries worldwide. Moreover, its historical stock encompasses one of the most important manuscript collections of the world, the largest collection of incunabula worldwide, as well as numerous further important special collections. The legal deposit law has been in force since 1663, regulating that 2 copies of every printed work published in Bavaria have to be submitted to the Bayerische Staatsbibliothek. This law is still applicable today. The Bayerische Staatsbibliothek furthermore is Europe's second largest journals library. The BSB publishes the specialist journal Bibliotheksforum Bayern and has been publishing the Bibliotheks magazine together with the Berlin State Library since 2007. Its building is situated in the Ludwigstrasse. Tasks: General and Research Library, Central State and Repository Library of the Free State of Bavaria, collection of regional legal deposits and publications related to Bavaria, part of Germany's virtual national library in cooperation with the German National Library and the Berlin State Library, runs the Munich Digitization Center. Responsibility for special subject collections of the German Research Foundation, collaboration on the corporate body authority file and the name authority file. Used in 2011, the library counted 76,000 registered users and 2,025,000 loans. The reading rooms of the Bayerische Staatsbibliothek are used by around 3,000 readers every day. In the general reading room, open daily from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m., approximately 111,000 volumes, primarily reference works, are freely accessible. In the periodicals reading room, around 18,000 topical issues of current periodicals are available. The departments of manuscripts and early printed books, maps and images, music, as well as Eastern Europe, Orient and East Asia have their own reading rooms with open access collections. Every day approximately 1,500 volumes are collected from the repositories and provided for use in the general reading room. In 2010, a new research reading room was opened, focusing on historical sciences and Bavarian history and culture. Inventory: c. 9.81 million books, c. 93,800 manuscripts. The catalogue is the work of librarian Johann Andreas Schmeller. Latin, c. 17,000 items. Breviarium Alarici, 6th century Purple Evangeliarii, 9th century Codex Aureus of St. Emerium, c. Competisticmus of St. Emerium, early 9th century Evangeliarii of Otto III, c. Pericopes of Henry II, Sacramentary of Henry II, Utocodex, c. Ruodli Romance Fragments, c. Shara Matutinalbuch Carmina Burana Prayer Book of Maximilian I of Bavaria, the Munich Manual of Demonic Magic, German, c. 10,500 items. Manuscript A of the Nibelungenlied, which was inscribed on UNESCO's Memory of the World Register in 2009. Freising manuscripts. West of Brunn Prayer Muspili Parzival by Wolfram von Eschenbach. Tristan by Gottfried von Strasbourg. Greek, 645 items. Slavic, c. 100 items. Music manuscripts, c. 37,500 items. Illustrated manuscripts, c. 550 items. Fechtbuch of Paulus Hector Merquar. Books by Orlando di Lasso. Illuminated manuscripts from the Ottonian period produced in the monastery of Reichenau, which were inscribed on UNESCO's Memory of the World Register in 2003. 59.665 current periodicals, 20.000 incunabula of around 9,660 incunabula, among them a Gutenberg Bible, c. 680.000 digitized volumes. Areas of emphasis: history, general, prehistory and early history, Byzantium, classical studies, INCL, ancient history, medieval, and New Latin philology. History of Germany, Austria and Switzerland. History of France and Italy. Romania, Romanian language and literature. Albanian language and literature. Eastern, Central and Southeastern Europe in detail. Russia, Belarus, Ukraine, Moldova, Poland, the Czech Republic, Slovakia, Bulgaria, Slovenia, Croatia, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Serbia, Montenegro, Macedonia, Albania, Kosovo. Modern Age Greece. Musicology. Information science, book studies and library science. Organization. Directorate. The position of Director General of the Bayerische Staatsbibliothek is vacant as of January 2015. Deputy Director General Klaus Senauer serves as acting director for the time being. The head office, the assistants to the directors and the public relations department also form part of the directorate. Former library directors: 1882 to 1909 Georg von Laubmann, 1909 to 1929 Hans Schnoll von Karlsfeld, 1929 to 1935 Georg Riesemüller, 1935 to 1945 Rudolf Buttmann, 1948 to 1966 Gustav Hoffmann, 1967 to 1972 Hans Streidel, 1972 to 1992 Franz Georg Kaltwasser, 1992 to 2004 Hermann Leskian, 2004 to 2014 Rolf Griebel. Main departments: Central Administration. The Central Administration is in charge of general administrative management. Moreover, it acts as a service provider for all areas of the library. The department is responsible for the areas budget, human resources, and internal services, construction, collection development and cataloging. This department acquires all types of media and catalogs and indexes them both formally and according to subject. The Munich Digitization Center is a section of the department. It handles the digitization and online publication of the cultural heritage preserved by the Bavarian State Library and by other institutions. It provides one of the largest and fastest-growing digital collections in Germany. The department is also responsible for conservation and collection care. This division protects the media published from the year 1850 onward against damage and decay. It secures the long-term availability. User services. The User Services Department acts as an agent of the collections and services of the library. The department consists of the divisions of document provision, document administration, document delivery and information and reading room services. Manuscripts and early printed books. The Department of Manuscripts and Early Printed Books is responsible for the most valuable historical collections of the library. The worldwide renown of the Bayerische Staatsbibliothek is founded on this precious heritage. The department has a separate reading room that is specially equipped for working with old books. Special departments: Map Collection and Image Archive. This department administrates printed maps from the year 1500 up to the present, atlases, cartographic material and the image archive of the Bayerische Staatsbibliothek. The image archive also includes parts of the archives of Heinrich Hoffmann, Bernhard Johannes and Felicitas Dim. The Map Collection and Image Archive also have, together with the Department of Music, their own reading room. Department of Music. The Department of Music ranks among the world's leading music libraries, due to both the quantity and quality of its historical collections and its broad acquisition profile. Its beginnings date back to the 16th century. The area of collection emphasis, musicology, of the German Research Foundation is overseen by this department. A special reading room for music, maps and images is provided for the library users. Oriental and East Asia Department. The Oriental collections of the Bayerische Staatsbibliothek comprise 260,000 volumes in Arabic, Armenian, Georgian, Hebrew, Yiddish, Mongolian, Persian, Tibetan and Indian languages. The East Asian collections comprise more than 310,000 volumes in the Chinese, Japanese, Korean, Thai and Vietnamese languages. Users can avail themselves of the open access collections in the East Reading Room occupied together with the Department of Eastern Europe. Department of Eastern Europe. The Department of Eastern Europe is the largest special department of the Bayerische Staatsbibliothek, holding around 1 million books about and from Eastern Europe, from early modern times up to the 21st century. In addition to the Eastern European area, it also addresses Eastern, Central and Southeastern Europe as well as the Asian part of Russia. The open access collection of the department is accommodated in the library's East Reading Room. Departments in charge of predominantly regional-level tasks. The departments in charge of tasks predominantly allocated to a regional level are the Bayerische Bibliothek Schule, the Landesbibliothek, das öffentliche Bibliothekswesen, as well as the head office of the Bibliotheksverband Bayern. State-funded Bavarian regional libraries. The Bavarian regional state-funded libraries form part of Bavaria's academic library system. They are subordinated to the Bayerische Staatsbibliothek in the organization structure. Among these libraries are the state libraries of Amberg, Ansbach, Neuburg and der Donau, Passau and Regensburg, the Studentenbibliothek Dillingen, the Landesbibliothek Coburg, the Bamberg State Library as well as the Hofbibliothek Aschaffenburg. History. The library was founded in 1558 as the court library of Duke Albrecht V, and was originally located in the vaulted chamber of the Alterhof of the Munich residence. Initially, 2 book collections were acquired. On the one hand, the personal papers of the Austrian jurist, Orientalist and Imperial Chancellor Johann Albrecht Widmanstätter, consisting of Oriental manuscripts and prints, editions of classic authors and works from the areas of theology, philosophy and jurisprudence, and on the other hand the collection of the Augsburg patrician Johann Jacob Fugger, which was acquired in 1571. Fugger had commissioned agents to collect volumes of manuscripts and printed works in Italy, Spain and the Netherlands. In the end, the works collected in this way amounted to more than 10,000 volumes. At the same time, he had manuscripts copied in Venice. Apart from this, in 1552 Fugger had purchased the collection of manuscripts and incunabula of the physician and humanist Hartmann Schedel, representing one of the richest humanistic private libraries north of the Alps. The Fugger collection was first administrated and organized by the physician Samuel Kiesselberg from Antwerp. He had adopted the shelving system of the Augsburg Court Library. Later the collection was administered by the librarian Wolfgang Prommer, who had catalogued the collection both alphabetically and according to keywords. i.e.the Sertel from Nuremberg became the first librarian in 1561. The main users of the library were the Jesuits, who had been invited to Munich in 1559. William V continued the collection, making further purchases. Spanish prints from the personal papers of the Tyrolean knight Anselm Stockel, the collection of the Augsburg councillor Johann Heinrich Herwarth von Hohenberg comprising numerous music prints. Humanistic Library of the Canon of Augsburg and Eichstatt Johann Georg von Werdenstein. In 1600 the collection comprised 17,000 volumes. The secularization of Bavaria and the transfer of the court library of the electorate of the Palatinate around the year 1803 added approximately 550,000 volumes and 18,600 manuscripts to the library's holdings. In 1827 Friedrich von Gartner was commissioned to plan a representative building for the Court and State Library. The original plan was to erect the building at Ludwigstrasse 1. In 1828 the plot opposite the Glyptothek on Königsplatz was chosen as location, but later in the same year the planners switched back again to Ludwigstrasse. The blueprints were completed in 1831. For lack of funds the laying of the foundation stone had to be postponed to the 8th of July 1832. The construction work on the building planned by Gartner was concluded in 1843. In 1919 the library received the name that it still bears today, Bayerische Staatsbibliothek. During the Second World War more than 500,000 volumes were lost, although the collections were partly evacuated from the building. Some of the books were, for example, stored in the Palace Chapel of Schloss Heimhausen. Of the building itself 85% were destroyed. The reconstruction of the library building and the reintegration of evacuated holdings started in 1946. 1953 to 1966 the professors Hans Dolgast and September Ruff had to plan and realize the reconstruction of the Eastern Wing, a new area behind historic walls, and the extension building of the Bavarian State Library, a glass-steel frame construction for the Bibliotheka. They made an available surface of 17.000 square meters and a cubature of 84.000 cubic meters. 1967 a jury with Hans Scharon gave the price of the BDA Bayern to the extension building. The inauguration of the restored south wing of the building in 1970 marked the conclusion of the reconstruction work on the building. The Speicher Bibliothek Garching was inaugurated in 1988. The Bayerische Staatsbibliothek has also initiated large-scale Internet projects. In 1997 the Munich Digitization Center took up work and the BSB started developing its Internet presence, including its own website, the card catalogue 1841–1952 and the catalogue of incunabula 1450–1500 were converted, thus making the complete holdings of printed materials of the Bayerische Staatsbibliothek available online. The service, Digitization on Demand, offered by a network of several European libraries, makes millions of books published between 1500 and 1900 available in digital form. On the 7th of March 2007, Director General Rolf Griebel announced that Google Book Search will take over the digitization of the copyright-free holdings of the Bayerische Staatsbibliothek. In 2008, the year of its 450th anniversary, the Deutsche Bibliotheksverband awarded the title of Bibliothek des Jahres to the BSB. In 2012, an Italian scholar discovered among Johann Jacob Fugger's manuscripts in the library an 11th-century Greek codex containing 29 ancient homilies, previously unpublished by the theologian Origen of Alexandria. Restitution. Since 2003, the Bavarian State Library has gone to great efforts to restitute illegally acquired library material. The most recent example is the restitution of the so-called Plock Pontifical to Poland in April 2015. It had been stolen by the Nazis from the Plock bishopric in 1940 and was taken to the Königsberg University. The Bavarian State Library bought the manuscript in 1973 for 6,200 German marks at an auction in Munich. In the past years, the library has searched through those segments of its collections that are in question for illegitimate purchasers. All in all, over 60,000 books have been meticulously checked so far. The library has identified around 500 books whose acquisition is to be regarded as unlawful. Subsequently to these findings, several restitutions have taken place. Amongst others, the Bavarian State Library returned 78 volumes originating from Thomas Mann's research library to the Thomas Mann Archive in Zurich in 2007. Further restitutions are in preparation. For example, 252 books from the former publishing house GEC Akon